Hi, welcome to the channel. Thank you for clicking on that video, and I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you hang around to if you like it, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. So this is basically a speed paint of all the various villains. Well, not all of them, but like the key ones in their respective stories. And first up, right after you see me finish the line art, is in his story, he is known as the Broad Daylight Bloodsucker. And so he's from a story that I started writing last summer, and I had the idea to have the characters get powers and abilities from special gemstones, as his appearance is based upon the star Sapphire Stone. So this is the first time I've drawn him just for this video, and I might change his design later. I added a mask because I drew him last, and I realized just how similar his design would be to the Solis City Stalker from Flowers of Solace, and I wanted there to be more difference between them visually. I mean, granted, you can't really confuse them, and secondly, they're in two very different stories, but I don't really like having too much character design overlap. So I might eventually retailor his design later if I ever do anything more with him, even if it's just to like do speed paints like this with. But for now, let's see. He does, however, have that in common with the Solis City Stalker, being that they're both like super powered serial killers, but he has a little bit grander goals in mind than simply bumping off people for fun. So I would like to work on his story more, but I'm kind of on the fence, so he will basically be staying shelved for now until I can have time to get back to that. If I do anything with that, I don't know. I sort of want to have the opportunity to draw him a lot more, but I don't think it's really a good idea to like turn every idea I have into a comic, because comics are a lot of work. So right after him is Malfall, and as a whole, she is the oldest villain here in story, and from when I first created her, as she is an adapted character from my time writing fanfiction. And it was really interesting for me because her character was initially a minion of Unicron, if you're familiar with Transformers. And when I adapted her to fit into Phantom Eclipse, I had to seriously strip her down, because I was going from having her basically being a villain who was subservient to a greater villain, to a standalone villain who then, generated other villains around her presence. And so I stripped her down, and I worked on building up the lore of her and figuring out what exactly, I wanted to do with her. And so she has evolved. She has reached her next evolution as a Pokemon. No, I'm not a Pokemon person, but still, she's been evolved into the Tyrant Queen of Pluto, if I can stop laughing there for 5 minutes, that she is today. And she is one that I had fun working with, because I just loved kind of figuring out how I wanted to work with her and Echo. And if I can ever get to season 2 of Phantom Eclipse, you shall be seeing plenty of her. And after her is Cedric Conda. He's from the second series I started developing after Phantom Eclipse, and I kind of kept that one on the back burner for a long time. I've made different changes to certain characters. One character in particular, she actually started off as being the sister to the main protagonist, but then I don't know, I got to thinking about no, I don't really like this for that character, and so that's one of the reasons why I haven't really done anything more. I actually started on doing like character designs, and so whenever I started back on this story, I wanted to go through and start redesigning at least like the first main characters, and Cedric got that treatment, as did his dad, Slaughter Conda, and I'm excited to finally see that one, you know, go into action. I mean, whenever I first started, it's like, let's see what I can do, sort of a shonen type story, you know. And it was like, let's have snake people, and let's have them piloting giant robots. Because you can never have too many giant robots, because giant robots are fun. Oh boy, I will be having, that will be a workload in and of itself, because I have not really drawn giant robots. In a long time. Plus, it'll be even more fun with the scaling, but I'll worry about that when I get there. To put in like a little tidbit here on Cedric and his dad, Slaughter Conda. Slaughter is basically a warmongering maniac. You know, he just loves to fight and stuff. And Cedric is, you could say, more controlled chaos. He likes having a plan and, you know, thinking things through. Like, what am I going to gain if I go into this sort of mentality? To kind of set those two apart. And after him is the Solis City Stalker. I sort of touched on her from before, but I'll go back in a little bit in a different angle here. So her character really gave me a run for my money in terms of figuring her out, because I realized that given the key genre I wanted to work with for this, you know, one-shot turn mini-series was mystery. There is sci-fi, but mystery I felt was more important. So I figured her out first. You know, I wrote up all the stuff I felt like is necessary to be able to move the story forward, and went on from there. Oh boy. What am I working? Okay. I got time. I got a little bit more time here. I'm trying to keep my videos shorter, but I feel like I'm failing. Oh boy. Anyways, last, but most certainly not least, is Ambamina, assuming I can pronounce that without butchering it every time I say it. And she is from the current thing I'm working on, Grieving Princess. That's what the last speed paint was on, and that's the most recent story I started working on as of, I would say, like, last November. And, oh boy. That's kind of a situation. The fantasy genre is something that I've sort of maybe utilized as more like a subgenre, perhaps. But it's never something I really wanted to commit to, because there's already so much good fantasy out there. I mean, come on. How do you beat Lord of the Rings, or the Inheritance series, or Chronicles of Narnia? I mean, that's kind of a big, you know, thing there to jump over. And then last year I was like, to heck with it. I'm gonna just start writing and go with it. And then as I was writing and figuring out the story, I just started getting hyped, because I'm like, oh, this is good. I like this. I like this. Let me do more. Oh boy, I am so hyped for just like the first arc alone, because there is just so many layers to it that I'm excited, and I want y'all to see it, because that's just how excited that I am for it. And it's been a lot of fun trying to figure out things and to decide where I want to go with it. I will try to pack in as much originality as I can. I have a fairly good idea of like what fantasy, like the classic fantasy stuff is out there. And I think probably the most challenging thing is trying to like put a new spin on like stuff that has already been used so much. I mean, elves, I mean, there probably are already winged elves, and I'm trying to work with that and build in some originality there. I really should probably just go through and just make a list of all the fantasy creatures and then do research to really kind of start building off of there, because there's just so much to work with. I mean, elves, fairies, dragons, dwarves. I do want to do centaurs, and there will be a centaur, because I feel like I have not seen a centaur in anything. I'm trying to think. I want to say there were centaurs in like the Unicorn Chronicles, but I have not read that in so long that I'm not 100% sure. But I do know that there were centaurs in like Chronicles of Narnia, but I haven't really seen that in anything else. So that's one I really want to play with. And it's just a big sandbox, in my opinion, on the fantasy genre to work with. So it's gonna be a heck of a thing to play with and see where I go. And I hope you will come along for the ride whenever I finally get stuff out there. Thank you. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I shall see you all next time. Thank you.